Oh. Hi everyone, and welcome to April 1st. The excitement and the hype of being here at the beginning of another Nano event is really exciting. We're coming into April, 4th month of the year, and I've had this feeling for a while now where my whole 2021 I've kind of just been sitting around in terms of my book, which isn't true. You know, I did my reread and I've done a lot of prep work, but it really does feel like it's about time for me to get started on this rewrite. So yes, if you're new here and you're wondering, what am I working on? I zero drafted my dark adult fantasy novel for NaNoWriMo last year and then let it sit for quite a while. Did a lot of thinking about all the stuff I left out, everything I needed to change, did a big re-outline. Here we are, ready for the rewrite, or the first draft as I'm gonna call it, because it will have everything included as far as all the story beats. I'm not gonna skip over big chunks of plot the way that I did before. So this is going to be the first whole and complete draft, and I'm really excited for that. I think when I finished my zero draft, I just didn't feel like that feeling of completeness, and I didn't feel like I had really achieved or accomplished what I set out to do, because it was so rough and so much of it was in notes form, or so much of it I just didn't really figure out and just kind of skipped to the end. I feel like when I finished this rewrite and I finished the first draft, I think I'm gonna get that feeling of, holy crap, I wrote a book. So it is day one of camp. What am I trying to do in April? I really want to allow myself to take my time with this. I have a much more fun time and a much more rewarding time when I allow myself to go slower. I am setting my goal for 20K in the month of April. Where's my freaking calculator? So 20,000 words by 30 days. 666 words per day, which is pretty manageable for me. As long as I sit my butt down, I can get that many words in like 15 to 20 minutes. With all that being said, this morning, I got up and did some writing before I started my workday. It went by so fast. I just did like an hour write-in with my writing group, and I got 972 words. I'm really impressed with that. I think that's a really good start. I also decided I'm gonna write a prologue. And I know that's kind of controversial. Not everyone likes prologues, but I decided I want to have one, so I zero drafted that prologue, and it's from my villain's point of view. And I also decided I'm changing my POV. To tell the truth, I think I actually hate writing in first person.
I'm also having this other little thought that maybe it wouldn't be so bad if I was writing it in third.
So I think that combination of new point of view, new character, new chapter just kind of made everything really explosive, and it was really fun. I love writing from the villain's point of view. It's kind of long for a prologue, but how long are prologues supposed to be? I feel like if a prologue is 2 pages, people would be more likely to skip it because it just kind of seems like fluff. And this really isn't that kind of prologue. Part of what I did to prep for my rewrite was I read the craft book on writing and world building by Timothy Hickson, and he talks about prologues in a way that really helped and shifted my perspective on what a prologue does and how to write a good one. He explores what makes a bad one too. And he said what a prologue is supposed to do is provide some information that comes at a distance that the reader wouldn't get otherwise. So either it comes from a different character, it comes from a long time ago, those sorts of things. So it has to be set apart. And that just kind of sparked something in my mind because I've been playing around with how to set up some backstory between 2 characters, and that just kind of sparked the idea for a prologue. I know sooner or later the fun will end and it will be time to rewrite for reals and I'll have to go back to the chapter 1, the zero draft, and really dive into my pre-existing words. So yeah, but so far so good. April 1, not bad. This is something that you saw in my office redo video. I kind of made a draft 1 inspiration board with all my chapters written out, and I forgot I was doing a prologue, so I popped that one at the end, but I'm gonna go through and just check them off as I get through the rewrite. So first square, done. As soon as I turned off the camera, I went to the mailbox and I had a little package. And I'm so excited because I didn't think it was gonna get here in time for camp. But it did. I have been getting really into buying indie stickers for my bullet journal. Oh my god, so cute! Here, I'll show you. This is so cute. Little typewriter stickers for word count. I'm very excited. Pink and gray. And we can actually go ahead and mark off my word count for today, which is very pink. Kind of more girly than I usually go for, but I like it. I'm digging it. But anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and put these in my dailies. What did I say that I got? 997? Oh god. Nope, 972. Okay. So this morning I got up again before work to write. I got up a lot earlier today than I did yesterday. I've been so tired today as a result, and my writing really didn't go well. Worked on my prologue again for a whole hour and only added about 500 words, and for a whole hour that's really not the best for me, but yesterday was so great and so today kind of felt like a little bit of a letdown. But I do want to take another crack at it tonight if I can and see if I can just get a little bit more in. Really great weekend. I haven't written anything yet today, but I had a really great writing day yesterday, and today we just kind of worked out in the yard and hosed our house down because it was covered in pollen and I picked up pine cones and we just wanted to be outside and enjoy it. Yeah, it's just been a very relaxing, peaceful weekend, but before the weekend ends I do have to get some writing done. So far, I have the prologue and chapter 1 redrafted and 3,199 words so far, so I'm pretty ahead. Before I move on to chapter 2, I do kind of want to go back through chapter 1 and just make sure that I have the story down as solid as it can be. Basically, I'm using the scene card method that I talked about in the video I did on Susan Dennard's revising methods. So I basically took her way of doing that and did it in Excel instead. I'll show you from far away. Maybe you can kind of see. So I have like the summaries over here and everything's color coded. I make sure in each scene I have the protagonist, antagonist, goal, and conflict. Her advice basically is if any of those 4 things isn't really present in the scene, you could beef it up and it would be a better scene. So I went through and did that for my whole zero draft, and then I have a column here where I wrote notes to myself about things to fix in this rewrite. And I kind of want to go back through and just make sure I really hit all of the notes that I had. I'm not too worried about like quality of words in this rewrite. So much of the story still has to get onto the page. So much of the world building still has to get onto the page. So I'm approaching the words still in like a little bit of a zero draft frame of mind where I'm just like, it's fine, however it comes out is how it comes out. I'm just more concerned with making sure that the story is on the page and there are no gaps and I'm not skipping stuff. It's not my zero draft, so I'm trying to make it an itsy bit better, but only a little bit, just the story. The prose can come later. I'm loving the change in POV, like I just wish I had done it sooner. Everything's just clicking, everything's flowing. I'm able to be descriptive in so much more of a natural way. The book has more voice. Every 10 sentences or whatever, I'll write a good line that I actually like. Let me just say that was not the case with the zero draft. Like, I barely liked any lines in that whole like 60,000 words. That does give me a lot of hope that I'm going in the right direction. It is late in the afternoon on Tuesday, April 6th. I am somewhere in the 4,000 range, I'm pretty sure. Still on chapter 2. I haven't done any writing yet today. I didn't get up and do it before work, kind of like I have been doing, but I had a good reason. I was getting my vaccine. I have so many feelings about getting my vaccine that I can barely put into words. I still have to do the second dose, of course, but I'm just so relieved and grateful and overwhelmed with privilege because I know that so many people will have to wait so much longer, and that sucks. That sucks a lot. But tonight I'm just being grateful and working on writing, hopefully. Chapter 2 is going. It's going slower, but again, I'm trying to tell myself that that's okay, and slow is kind of the name of the game right now. I really do want to finish chapter 2 though. I'm really ready to move on, so I need to write this big conversation between my hero and the villain. And it's kind of a big deal, and I've kind of been dragging my feet on doing it a little bit because I really want to nail it. I think the zero draft version is pretty good, but I need to change a lot of it just for plot reasons. So unfortunately, I don't think I can keep that much of it, but I really want it to be good, and it has to establish all the reasons why this villain is so scary and is actually capable of doing real harm. Yeah, it's going to be an intense scene, but I'm excited. Hi everyone, it's April 9th, and it's been a few days. I have been slowly plugging away on chapter 2 the past few days. The chapter just kind of turned out being more difficult than I really anticipated. Like, I had really good momentum through the new prologue and through chapter 1, and then I got to chapter 2, and this big first meeting with the antagonist. There's so much in that chapter that sets up motivations for my main character, and kind of her goal is defined in this chapter very clearly. So I'm looking at my tracker, and I was working on it for 6 days in a row. And that mostly was just me taking my zero draft version, dumping it into my new document, and going through it, reordering the conversation that's being had, switching the POV, and just, generally doing a big cleanup. The word counts have been small. I think in the past 3 days I've technically added like a net 300 words. But I've rewritten like 3,000 words. So word count is kind of arbitrary at this point. I think tracking words is really good for zero drafting. What I'm more concerned with is getting through the chapters. It was really bothering me that chapter 2 was taking so long, and finally got to the end of it yesterday with some word sprints on Discord. So yeah, I'm just really glad that we're going into a fresh weekend on a new chapter. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about these. These are like the perfect color. I'm so excited. I got these for like $12 on Poshmark. Nice. Oh my gosh, look at the cuff bottoms. I can't. Oh my god, they're soft. I'm gonna be wearing these all fall. Oh, stop. Today's April 14th, and I'm still in chapter 3. Chapter 3 is another really big chapter. I wonder if I'm going to be saying this the whole way through, where I'm like, oh, chapter, whatever, this one is a big one, because obviously like something should happen in every chapter, but I've just felt that way with 1, with 2, with 3. So haven't had any like quote unquote easy chapters yet. This is the chapter with the inciting incident, and I've so far written right up until that thing, capital T thing is about to happen. Yeah, big scene for me to rewrite tonight. I'm kind of taking the same approach as I did with chapter 2, where I am kind of like reworking how it starts, and then once I really get into it, I've taken a chunk from the 0 draft, plopped it into the first draft, just for me to like zero in on it, and then I'm slowly rewriting and reworking my way through that chunk of text. And honestly, a lot of it just gets deleted, but it's there for me to see and kind of translate into, first of all, third person, and then translate into better prose. That's how it's going in the beginning, at least, where the plot is pretty much in the right spot. I'm sure when I get into the middle, not a lot of plopping will be happening. It's working for right now. I'll probably hit 10K tonight, which is good. We're about halfway through the month, so as far as my camp goal, I'm pretty on target. It's just kind of hitting me how long this rewrite really will take. I think I'm really enjoying this pace of 20K a month, so I think I'm gonna try and repeat it in May and June, and then that's 60,000 words, so maybe by the end of July, May, June, July, so maybe for Camp July, I'll be finishing the rewrite. That if I do 20K a month, that would be an 80K draft in July. Which sounds pretty good, but also half of me is like so impatient. I can't wait to see it and to hold it and really feel like my book is fully on the page and celebrate that. And thinking about waiting until July makes me kind of sad, so it's gonna be a busy summer, so I'm trying to be realistic here. Okay, it's really time to get back on the horse. Today is April 15th, and last night I did exactly 0 writing. I might have spent the whole night working on my writing playlist. Which basically consists of like 80% Mumford & Sons right now, so the whole night was spent me going through their whole discography. Discography? I don't want to say it was a total waste because it just got me like back into music again. Like I hadn't really just sat and listened to an album for so long. I really enjoyed myself, but no writing was had. But today we're gonna fix that. So today I just finished my workday and I'm trying to reset. I just got out of the shower and I think I'd like to go outside and like take a quick lap outside, get some vitamin D on my skin. And then I have writing sprints on Discord with a friend. So let's go for a quick walk outside, and I want to do a little like tour of all the things in our yard that I didn't know we had in our yard. Because when we moved here in January, obviously it was the middle of winter and nothing was in bloom. And over the past few weeks, spring has really sprung here in Atlanta, and there are so many things happening in our yard that I didn't expect. And I'll walk up to Luke and be like, hey, did you know that we had this in our yard? And he'll be like, no, I had no clue. So maybe I'll give you a little tour of all the little surprises. What day is it today? I honestly can't remember, 16th or 17th? 17th. Today I started chapter 4. And I was kind of intimidated by this chapter because it's the chapter where my protagonist and the love interest meet. And obviously you want, that meeting to go well. Well in terms of not necessarily well for them, but interesting to read. I definitely remembered from the zero draft that I had totally bungled it, and I didn't like how I did it in the zero draft basically at all. So I wanted to write this over from scratch almost, and yeah, I was intimidated by doing that, wanting to do it differently and get it better and really let more of my protagonist's character shine through. I wrote through the whole scene, which turned out to be about 1,400 words. It was so fun. Like, it was one of those days where I realized, oh, writing is actually really fun. I love that the other main character is in the story now, and I can look forward to those scenes between them. The other thing that I did yesterday, I watched a video that Katie Ann posted where she talked about one of her favorite tropes being that scene where your characters have to kiss to avoid notice, like, because everyone averts thine eyes from PDA and whatever. And I was like, wait, that is one of my favorite tropes too, and I didn't realize it until she said it. I literally went and wrote my character's first kiss scene a la that trope. So that's further on in the book, and it doesn't necessarily happen in the spot where I am right now, but I was just so inspired to write it and really needed to like recapture that sense of fun, and I think it totally worked and got me excited to go back in time and write this first meeting now that I've had fun playing with them and their interactions in this new draft. Hello. Okay, it is a glorious Sunday. So beautiful outside, and I don't want to jump right into writing this morning. I kind of feel like I want to film a video actually. I have this tag video that I've been meaning to do, so I think I'm gonna do something with my hair that's not this and do that. There's just a stray cat. We've been blessed. Let me love you. They're seeing into my soul. So I did not write yesterday. As a result, today I'm just feeling really blah. I don't know if this is just Monday blues, but I've been having this like particular brand of blues very often lately, and it is just this like existential questioning and resentment at the amount of time that doesn't really belong to me. Being that I work 9 to 5, and when you're working on a project like a book and you're trying to push hard to get it done in a certain amount of time, it's really frustrating when almost all your hours and your best hours are not yours to work with. From the hours of like 9 to 12 is when my mind just spins off and really wants to burn the creativity fuel, and instead I don't get to do that. I can feel my creativity like standing right over my shoulder waiting, and then by the time I get to the end of the day, it's like, F it, you ignored me all day and now I don't want to do the thing. Thinking about like when I turn 40, 50, 60, thinking back on the fact that 80% of my life would have been spent at work. I don't know if anyone else has this existential crisis, and I know there's not really much that we can do about it. Basically, I'm just hating capitalism today. Also, I recognize that that can sound completely ridiculous coming from me when I get to work from home and set my own schedule for the most part. So long as I work during normal business hours. So all these things can't be crushed into just Saturday, Sunday, and I'm feeling that frustration at having my time like taken away from me. Daydreaming about what I want my future to look like and how much writing could be a part of it. And I don't want to make it sound like I don't like my job, because I do like my job. Jobs in general is basically what I'm whining about. I feel like I have so much more drive and ability to push hard on this project than I have the time to do. But maybe I'm not being completely honest with myself about that. I could be writing in the mornings more. Okay, the older I get, the more I feel this friction between when I'm doing something in my life that rubs up against my values and doesn't necessarily go in the same direction. And the older I get, the more that friction becomes very bothersome to me. And I have a hard time ignoring it. Like, you know, when we were deciding to make this big move and leave Boston, that desire became so clear the more time went on, because I could feel that I was not in alignment. Maybe this is just like an approaching 30 thing, but I'm just really evaluating every single thing about my life, and wondering if I want to spend 5 years, 10 years, 20 years doing that thing or living in that place. And so then my mind starts turning over what an author career would look like. I would have so much fun, honestly, like working on that. I can feel that like passion in my heart for that. And it frustrates me thinking that 20,000 words a month is kind of my maximum revising speed, which means that this is going to take until July. Such a long ass time. Like when I think about how many rounds of revision this one book will go through, just thinking about the time it would take to really create something substantial enough where I could change my life significantly is giving me a lot of impatience. And there's not really much that I can do about that except try to be balanced and be intentional. Intentional. I am getting my second dose at the end of April, the 29th. Once we're fully vaccinated and we wait the 2 weeks, we can actually start doing things and exploring Atlanta. And I think that will help me feel more balanced too, because I think not leaving the house is also really getting to my head and making me stew in all these thoughts. But yeah, that's all. Just a grumpy Monday. Hello, my friends. It is Wednesday the 21st. Luke is drumming downstairs, so that's just going to be in the background. Last night I finally finished chapter 4, and I'm now at 14,272. If I was talented, I would like beatbox my update or sing my update to the drums, but that would be horrible for everyone involved, I think. But yeah, I'm glad to be finally done with chapter 4. It was the first chapter where my villain does something really horrible on the page, and kind of like the first confrontation with him, and I really want him to be scary from the get-go. Now that chapter 4 is done, we've had the inciting incident, and now we're kind of off to the races. I'm kind of getting to a section of maybe 2-ish chapters where I'm having to write completely new stuff that wasn't in the zero draft. I don't know if that means that it's going to be easier or more difficult. I'm really ready for the story to get moving, because it's felt like I'm in the early beginning for so long, just because I'm going so much slower. The interesting thing, I did some calculations. So what's interesting is I went back and looked at my zero draft, and with 4 chapters done, the zero draft was at 10,670. I have 4 chapters revised with 14,272 words. So that's just a good sign to me that I'm really beefing up the book, expanding on things and putting more world building on the page, more character on the page. Because I kind of hadn't been sure how much I was really adding overall. Like I hadn't really stopped to figure that out yet. Yeah, I almost added 30% so far, and obviously now I'm going into 2 chapters that weren't there before at all, so a lot of beefing up is happening.
Beautiful.
All of a sudden, the second half of this month really just disappeared. I've just, to be honest, been in a huge funk, been in a rut. It's not really anything to do with writing. I think I just have been feeling really burnt out. Meredith made a video recently about the feeling of languishing, and that really hit home for me because I've just been dealing with the past few weeks really heightened anxiety and lack of motivation for everything else. But I feel like I'm finally coming out of the fog a little bit. I'm really looking forward to having Thursday and Friday off this week. So today is Tuesday. So I just have 2 days left of my work week. But I have those days off because I'm getting vaccinated with my second dose. So I don't really know how I'm going to be feeling. Now that I'm kind of coming out of this fog, I'm actually looking at my Camp Nano and wondering if I can cram it all in. So last night I finally kind of broke the dry spell and got back into chapter 5 and added about 900 words, I think. So I really want today and Wednesday to be like power days, and if I can just finish and hit the 20K before Thursday, before my vaccine appointment, and just like be done, and then whatever happens happens and I can feel whatever way I want to feel. Because if I'm honest, I also need to edit this vlog and would love to do that on Thursday, Friday, if I'm, feeling up to it and I'm not completely in bed just like sleeping it off. So yeah, get this stupid chapter 5 done. I think that was also kind of tripping me up, like transitioning from the first 4 chapters. I was basically copying over what I had and translating the same plot, but better, basically. And chapter 5 was the first chapter where things are taking like a little bit of a detour from the zero draft, and I have to replot some things. So I'm zero drafting again. It just sucks to write bad again. Like, it doesn't suck, but you just have to like put on the different cap basically and just let yourself write shit. And even though, I just worked so hard on making the first 4 chapters good, I kind of have to approach chapter 5 different. But yeah, I'm really excited to get chapter 5 in place because then the rest of everything just works better. So I have chapter 5 about halfway done. Hopefully I'll finish it tonight. I think another thing that is kind of getting me down is I'm looking at my chapter checklist here. I have all these chapters and it kind of stinks to walk in here and feel like I've been working on it all month fairly consistently, and I only have 5 boxes filled in and it just looks so measly. But I have to remind myself that it's not nano, and my goal is not to rush through the boxes as quickly as possible. But last night I really wasn't feeling that into it either, but I knew that time was running out, and the best way to get yourself out of a writing funk is to force yourself to write, so that's what I did. And it kind of went like achingly slow, but at the same time, I just got sucked into the scene, and having that escapist hour where I didn't think about how shitty I was feeling was really helpful. Sometimes it's just helpful to remember that writing is a really helpful distraction. Kind of got me through this whole year, to be honest. I started my zero draft over in March when we first got sent home, and been working on this book ever since. So yeah, the hardest part is just sitting down, but it's always worth it when you do. Coming out of it now. And I think if I just get my routines back in place and try and get some momentum going, I think we can end the month off on a good note. Hey buddy, what you doing? There he goes. Alright, today's the day. It is Thursday, April 29th. I did a lot of writing yesterday. I think I only have about 600 words left to get in today. But before I do my 600 words, there is something very exciting that we need to go do first. Okay, we're home. We're double vaccinated. Woo! Wow. So excited. I'm so grateful. It's been a long ass year. Okay. I just tried to film this clip a minute ago and it wasn't recording. So I think the fever has arrived and my brain is not working. It is the last day of camp. And in case you couldn't tell by everything about me, I do feel pretty shitty this morning. I kind of just want to be asleep. I have approximately 600 words to write, nonetheless, before I can really call it quits. So I'm so close to my goal. I definitely want to hit it today no matter what. I'm on the troublemaker stream right now. Katie's also dealing with her symptoms, so I feel like if Katie can do it, I can do it. I'm just gonna write 575 really crappy words and then get back under my blanket. Woohoo! See if I'll actually get a badge. Nope. Ah, here we go. Yay! 4 days ago. Okay. Go home, NaNoWriMo. You're drunk. Do you like my new hammock? Okay, and with that, this vlog is complete. Thanks everyone who made it through this giant vlog. It really was a crazy haul to edit, so thank you if you watched the whole darn thing. Yeah, overall it was a good month. I hit my goal, but like a lot of people, April kind of kicked me in the face. And I definitely felt a dip in my productivity and my motivation. But that comes with the territory, and we can't be 100% go, go, go all the time. So, you know, sometimes we have to allow ourselves to rest, and I think that's going to be my MO for May. I've kind of decided, as I've been watching back this vlog, editing it, and thinking about how the month went, I'm not going to try and do 20K again this month. I'm just gonna write when I feel like it, and not really put a number on it, and just do the rewrite at my own pace. I'll do another goal for July, but until then, we'll just take it as it goes. So let's see if we can wrap up. 3 things I learned. Number 1, we have way more wildlife. Rewriting takes a lot longer than zero drafting. And 3, go easy on yourself. I've got to finish up this vlog, so with that, that is all. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.